This is the all-new 2017 Suzuki Swift. Since its relaunch back in 2005, Suzuki have sold over 5 million Swifts globally. This generation rides on the new hardtech platform, which debuted back in 2015, and is shared with the Ignis and the Baleno. This promises improved rigidity and a greater use of high tensile steel, and a tighter turning circle of just 9.6 meters. Whilst the design of the front end can divide opinion, the rest of the body is proportioned well and looks unremarkably like a Swift. Same goes for the interior, which was given an overhaul and is more inviting, but remains simple and logical. The only complaint falling on some of the plastic quality. In Australia, 4 trim levels will be available. All models include 6 airbags, Bluetooth with USB, cruise control and daytime running lights. Our picks would have to be the Geo Navigator or the model we have here, the top-spec GLX Turbo. The GLX swaps the 1.2 dual-jet engine with the punchier and more responsive 1-litre Boosterjet turbo, pushing out 82 kilowatts of power and 160 Nm of torque. It also gets a standard 6-speed automatic instead of the CVT in lower grades. Adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning, and autonomous emergency braking are also standard on the GLX, the first car in its category to do so. For India, the Swift will be powered by either the 1.2 K12B petrol or the 1.3 DDIS diesel. It is also rumoured that the Boosterjet engine will be available soon. As always, a big thanks to Melville Suzuki for lending us the car for review. Okay, let's start our tour.
Okay, and climbing on board. The seats are adjustable 6 ways, forwards, recline, and also height adjustment. The first thing you notice is the new steering wheel. It's much more smartly designed and it's leather bound on the GLX Turbo models. On the left there's the controls for the volume, Bluetooth hands-free, and the adaptive cruise control. Below the right panel, traction control off, and your controls for the lane departure and automatic emergency braking. And to start the car, simply put your foot on the brake and hit the button to the right to go. Moving over to the driver's armrest, there are 4 power window switches, with the drivers being automatic. Window locks along with power door locks. And the adjustments for the electric mirrors, which also fold. Air vents on the side are very conventional design, with your left and right, and turning the vents on and off. In the center we get a more sporty look, with the circular vents, and you can angle the direction any way you want, or block them completely. Above there's your standard sun visor with vanity mirror, and a small little business card holder. But if the sun is shining at you through the side, it's a little bit useless. Same goes for the passenger. And the standard interior dome light. Moving over to the infotainment unit, this is the 7-inch screen we see on most Suzukis, and it's standard on the Geo Navigator spec and above. Here there are the normal 4 quadrants comprising of the radio system, Bluetooth calling, inbuilt navigation, and smartphone link with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The system is relatively quick and it responds to your touch quite well. But as usual, one thing I don't like is that Suzuki have still not given customers a standard volume knob. And to the right, there's the soft keys for home, voice search, and settings. And at the top, there's a slot for the SD card which holds the navigation data. If you'd like a more in-depth tour of the system, have a look at my Suzuki Ignis video in the description box. Below we have a single-zone climate control with fan speed and temperature adjustment. Of course, you can run through the different modes, recirculation, and turning the aircon on and off. Auto will simply adjust the mode and the fan speed dependent on the temperature you've set. Front and rear defrost. Below, a USB and an auxiliary outlet. and a 12-volt power port. Some space for storage for a mobile phone, 2 cup holders, your standard shift gate from park to drive with a manual setting, which you can toggle with the paddle shifters, a manual handbrake, and a small cubby at the back. Alright, now let's turn the car off and we'll continue the tour. The space in the back is what you'd expect from a car in this class, so it's not huge, but enough room for a suitcase or your weekly shop, and the volume is comparable to a Mazda 2. Space saver spare tire with tire changing equipment, and interior light with a shopping bag hook. Seats can be folded as well using a lever on the side, and when they go down they do fold fairly flat, but you do have a hump to deal with. And of course you do get a protective cover, but I removed it to make folding the seats a little easier. Okay, having a look at the back seats. The new integrated door handle gives the Swift a more coupe style, and I do apologize for the road noise, but I'll do my best. And on the door card, a nice polished door handle with hard plastic trim as you would expect, electric window switch, and a small bottle holder. Hopping in. Now Suzuki say there's a few extra centimeters of kneeroom and headroom for rear passengers, and after sitting in here for a while, that's definitely true. I'm 6'3" or 190 centimeters, and although my head does brush the roofliner, I'd be okay for short trips, which isn't something you could say about the old Swift. Grab handles. No rear seat armrest, but we do have ISOFIX child seat mounts on each of the outboard seats. The middle rear seat also has a seatbelt coming out from here instead of up on the roof. And whilst you do have this big slab of plastic to accommodate for the rear door handle, which does feel a little bit closed in when you're sitting in the back, a little bit claustrophobic, but the window is still a decent size and something that's usually overlooked. The window winds all the way down. Very good. You'll also notice this side is a little bit darker than the front, and that's because of the rear privacy glasses standard. And for the front passenger, very similar to the driver, a soft touch armrest with electric window controls and a space for your water bottle. The main difference is that the front passenger seat is a fixed height, so you cannot move it up or down. And stepping in, a relatively small glove box, big enough for your owner's manual and a few bits and bobs, but not much else. And here's a better look of the nice contrasting white trim. Okay, that's enough talking. Let's go for a spin.